Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Some people are facing problems in login. That is why we are taking some 2-3 minutes. Is there any problem in login? Some of them have reported that there is problem. Any problem in login?
No, sir. Today I was able to log in properly.
Okay, thank you. So some other persons like Daneshwar ji is facing problem. Umesh ji is facing problem. Other members are also facing problem. I don't think there is any problem. Why they are facing problem? There is no new system. The system is same as it was earlier. I don't think why they are facing problem. I do not understand why they are facing problem. So. Okay, so we will proceed.
Yes, sir.
Yes, we will proceed. The members who have joined, now we will proceed. Again, they will join as and when required. So, are you unmute all of you? Are you aware of the GST provisions or audit related to provisions of GST or provisions of audit under service tax or excise or VAT? Are you aware of any one of you have conducted or assisted in the audit by the departments? Please. Are you aware of audit by
No,
the
sir.
department? No.
No, sir.
So anyone has any experience of audit prior to GST audit? Yes. Anyone has any experience?
सर वो एक्साइज की ऑडिट तो कराई भी है क्लाइंट्स के साथ में,
हाँ,
तो उसका तो आइडिया है, लेकिन जीएसटी का तो बिल्कुल भी कोई आइडिया नहीं है।
जीएसटी का कोई आइडिया नहीं है। एक्साइज का ऑडिट तो कराया है, सर्विस टैक्स का भी कराया। किन लोगों ने कोई और सर्विस टैक्स का ऑडिट भी
Yes,
किया है?
yes, sir.
सर्विस टैक्स
हाँ,
ऑडिट
सर्विस
कराया
टैक्स
है,
का किया है।
कराया है।
सर्विस
सर्विस
टैक्स
टैक्स
किया
भी
है।
कराया है,
सर्विस टैक्स से कराया, वैट का भी कराया है लोगों ने, वैट का ऑडिट भी कराया है।
वैट का तो नहीं हुआ है सर।
वैट में हम कभी जाते ही नहीं थे आज तक।
अच्छा, वैट में जाते नहीं थे, वैट की जानकारी नहीं है। अच्छा, ओके। सो प्रेम प्रकाश जी, आप ये बताएं पहले तो आपका जो एक्सपीरियंस है एक्साइज का वो शेयर करिए जरा। मैं अनम्यूट करता हूँ, म्यूट करता हूँ बाकी लोगों को, और आपको
लोगों का एक सबसे जो ऑडिट का पहले तो वो एक बुकलेट टाइप की भेजते हैं,
बुकलेट टाइप की दे देते हैं। हाँ,
और
Okay.
वो कहते हैं इस डाटा को आप फिलअप कर दीजिए।
ओके।
उसके साथ में कुछ क्वेश्चनर लगा देते हैं कि सब बैलेंस शीट दे दो, ये दे दो, प्रोडक्शन चार्ट दे दो, और
Okay.
दे दो, ये सारी चीजें दे दीजिए, साथ में
Okay.
वो दे देते हैं।
ओके।
उसके बाद में जो उनकी जो एटीट्यूड होता है, वो एटीट्यूड तो जैसे होता है जैसे कि एक पुलिस वाले का और चोर का होता है।
हाँ,
वो हमेशा एक उसी एटीट्यूड से हमेशा बात करते हैं, जैसे कि जितना भी बड़ा, जैसे हमारे क्लाइंट्स हैं उनका टर्नओवर करीब 100 करोड़ से ऊपर है,
हाँ,
अभी वो एटीट्यूड जो हम लोगों के साथ में या क्लाइंट्स के साथ में रखते हैं, वो ऐसा रखते हैं जैसे कि हम लोग चोरी करी है, हमने
हाँ,
सारी चोरी से ही कर रहे हैं क्या।
हाँ।
ये इस टाइप का एटीट्यूड उनका बड़ा ऑड रहता है।
एटीट्यूड बहुत ऑड रहता है जी।
बाकी तो क्वेश्चन आंसर है, पेपर पूछना है, कोचिंग है,
हाँ,
और बाकी जो उनका बाकी तो कोई इशू रहते नहीं। ऑडिट में जो ये कोई कमियां हैं कि
हाँ,
23C हमने, क्योंकि 23C में ही खास तौर से रहता था कि 50% क्लेम करना होता था,
हाँ,
ये 100% क्लेम कर लिया,
हाँ,
उस पर मोहर नहीं लगी हुई है,
हाँ,
क्योंकि मोहर लगनी होती थी, सीरियल नंबर का डाला होना रहता था। फिर वो जो 50% बैलेंस रह गया हमारे 23C में, और जो हमारी बुक्स ऑफ अकाउंट्स में बैलेंस है उसके वो बिलों से 50% कौन कौन से बिल आपके पास अवेलेबल है, उनके बिल बताइए। इस टाइप का, मतलब बाकी तो वर्किंग एटीट्यूड वर्किंग ही रहती थी बाकी, लेकिन जो उनका एटीट्यूड रहता है वो बड़ा एक और टाइप का रहता है, बस इतना सा जरूर।
और कुछ शेयर करना चाहेंगे?
नहीं सर, और तो ऐसा कोई विशेष रहता नहीं है।
चलिए ठीक है, बाकी लोगों से भी पूछते हैं कि बाकी मेंबर्स भी कोई शेयर करना चाहेंगे।
जी 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 जी।
यस, और कुछ शेयर करना चाहेंगे आप लोग? आप लोगों के पास जो ऑडिट का एक्सपीरियंस है कुछ शेयर करना चाहेंगे?
नहीं सर, ये प्रेम जी नाथ जी ने जैसा बोला है वैसा ही ज्यादातर होता है।
वैसा ही ज्यादातर होता है जी।
हाँ, कि उनके तरफ से एक क्वेश्चनर आता है,
हाँ,
वो टोटल कैलकुलेशन अपने तरफ से ही करवा के लेते हैं।
हाँ,
वेरिफिकेशन का काम खाली वो खुद के तरफ रखते हैं।
वेरिफिकेशन काम खुद की तरफ रहते हैं, कैलकुलेशन ये सब आप लोगों पे छोड़ देते हैं।
यस।
और कुछ बात बताना चाहेंगे?
नहीं सर।
नहीं। और कोई ऑडियंस के पास कुछ शेयर करने लायक है? यदि कोई ऑडिट के बारे में बात करे, जो डिपार्टमेंट ऑडिट करने आता है आप लोगों के पास, तो कोई शेयर करने लायक बात है तो बताएं प्लीज। ओके, सो मैं आपको कुछ बेसिक बताता हूँ, क्योंकि लॉ में जो बात लिखी है और जो प्रैक्टिकल बात है वो दोनों समझने की जरूरत है। देखिए जो बात जी, मैं आपको थोड़ी लॉ भी बताऊंगा और कुछ प्रैक्टिकल बात भी बताएंगे जो आपको ध्यान रखना है, उनका दिमाग कहाँ चलता है और वो किधर रहते हैं। सो सबसे पहले जो प्रेम प्रकाश जी ने जो रिजर्वेशन दिया मैं म्यूट कर रहा हूँ आप सब लोगों को, ताकि आप सब लोगों को सही से आवाज आए. ओके, सो आई एम म्यूटिंग ऑल ऑफ यू नाउ. Yes. So, formally, good evening to all my friends for joining the session on the important topic, which is the GST audit by the department, or audit on the direction of GST officers. So there are two type of provisions. Earlier, similar provisions are in income tax and the excise also. So either department can directly conduct your audit, or GST departments or GST officers may direct some chartered accountant or company secretary, cost accountant on payroll, on the role of there. So the audit will be conducted by those who are nominated a chartered accountant or cost accountant. Now, before going to the integrity and details of the provisions of law, we must understand that we are human beings, and for any tax practice, I am sharing some important aspects how to manage. I am again unmuting all of you so that anyone can participate. आप सब लोगों के लिए जब वो आते हैं, तंग करते हैं, परेशान करते हैं, उल्टा सीधा बोलते हैं, ये जो इन्वेस्टिगेशन में जो ऑफिसर्स इन्वॉल्व है, चाहे वो ईडी हो, चाहे वो जीटी हो, चाहे वो जीएसटी हो, चाहे वो पुलिस वाले हो, चाहे
त्याच्या इथंच त्याचं पोरग काहीतरी टीव्ही लावलंय का काहीतरी चाललंय दाखवत.
जो भी इन्वेस्टिगेशन में
सिंह सर जी सबके आवाज म्यूट कर दीजिए सर प्लीज.
मैं आवाज म्यूट कर रहा हूँ. आप सब लोगों को म्यूट कर रहा हूँ. आप सब लोगों को म्यूट कर रहा हूँ. यस, सो सब लोग म्यूट हो गए हैं. अब आप मेरी बात सुनेंगे. जिन लोगों को भी कुछ शेयर करना है वो चैट में डाल देंगे, तो हम वो समझ जाएंगे कि उनको कुछ मेरे पास कुछ बात करना है. ऐसा बिफोर स्टार्टिंग द प्रोविजंस ऑफ लॉ, we must understand how to tackle the audit. So this is similar to tackling the excise audit or service tax audit or VAT audit. जो लोग ऑडिट करने आते हैं वो जरूर बहुत सीनियर ऑफिसर्स नहीं होते, तो उनका एटीट्यूड भी इस तरीके से होता है. वो ये चाहते हैं कि कोई गुस्से में या किसी भी तरीके से कुछ गलत किया है तो तुरंत बता दे, इंफॉर्मेशन दे दे. तो इसलिए वो पलट के एक ही क्वेश्चन कई बार पूछते हैं. ये जब स्टेटमेंट रिकॉर्ड होता है वहाँ भी ये होता है, ऑडिट में भी होता है, और किसी भी इन्वेस्टिगेशंस में होता है. वो आपको टॉर्चर करेंगे. जैसे जब जीएसटी में कोई इन्वेस्टिगेशंस करते हैं या बुलाते हैं तो जनरली वो आपको बुलाने का समय 4 बजे देंगे और 4 बजे बात नहीं करेंगे. वो 6 बजे, 7 बजे, 8 बजे शुरू करेगा इन्वेस्टिगेशन. फिर कोई ऑफिसर चला जाएगा, फिर दूसरा आ जाएगा, वो स्टेटमेंट रिकॉर्ड करेगा. ऐसे वो करते हैं. वो इन्वेस्टिगेशन एजेंसी जो भी है, वो इनका काम करने का, ताकि कोई टॉर्चर हो जाए तो जल्दी से आंसर मिल जाएगा. वो ज्यादा घुमाएगा नहीं इधर उधर के बातों में. टॉर्चर होगा, परेशान होगा, तो फिर वो आंसर जल्दी दे देगा. ऐसा उनका बिलीफ है, यही उनकी सोच है. तो इसीलिए जब वो ऑडिट में भी आते हैं तो इसी तरीके का बात करते हैं. तो we must keep in mind that as an auditor, we are only responsible for some of the providing information which is required under the provisions of law. We must understand what are the powers of auditor and to what extent they can ask for the recorded information. We must know that. Without knowing that, certainly there will be a problem. And if they are misbehaving or they are not talking as a good person, then you may record in your mobile. That will be very important. I am sharing you something. शिवम टीवी बंद कर, आवाज आ रही है. शिवम टीवी बंद करो, आवाज आ रही है, पीछे से आवाज आ रही है. ओके, But in waiting room, somewhere. There is any problem. I'm just checking. Is there any problem? I don't think every participant have joined. I don't think there is any problem at all. If still any problem, then I will. So, we must keep in mind the provisions of GST law, the power of auditors, and uh, the documents which they can require. They can require documents, so many documents they can require. Okay. Sound और टीवी डिस्टर्बिंग. टीवी का साउंड क्यों आ रहा? बंद कर दो बेटा. टीवी के साउंड से दिक्कत हो रही है. टीवी के साउंड से दिक्कत हो रही है. बंद कर दीजिए टीवी का साउंड. बंद कर दीजिए. टीवी के साउंड से दिक्कत हो रही है. बंद कर जाइए. थोड़ी देर आराम करें. So okay. So we must understand the provisions of law, and we should not be much arrogant before them. We are here to provide the information details, whatever information they are asking for. If you have good information, we should cooperate and provide those informations. And the information you do not have, then directly say we don't have so information. So the audit will proceed further, and accordingly. So I don't think there is any tussle, or we should engage any tussle with the department. So ultimately, because we have to manage them. Now we are going directly to the provisions of GST audit, so that we can understand how to handle, because knowledge is very important to handle the auditor. So there are three types of audit under GST. One is audit conducted directly by the department under Section 65. Another is audit conducted by a chartered accountant or cost accountant on the direction of department. And the third type of audit, which as you will know, that is the audit by chartered accountant appointed by the taxpayer based on the turnover. I am discussing only first, that is audit by the department or audit by chartered accountant or cost accountant on the direction of department. I am not covering this part. I am covering only the this part. Okay. So we must understand here. There are two sections, section 65 and 66 for audit provisions, other than the audit conducted by chartered accountant, which is appointed by a taxpayer himself. So 65 and 62 provisions. Then the definition of audit we must know. Then threshold limit. Yes, no threshold limit at all for audit conducted by the department. There is no very important. There is for audit by audit to be conducted by a chartered accountant and nominated by a taxpayer. There is threshold limit for but there is no threshold limit for conduct of audit by the department. So even a small taxpayer having turnover of some 1-2 crore must also some checks and balances, and that documents must be checked by some professionals, so that after some time, 3-4 years, 2 years, if the departments ask for providing the documents for audit, there should not be any difficulty. Otherwise, there may be difficulty, because those who are subject to audit by the auditor as appointed by the taxpayer himself under Section 35, not an issue, because auditor are taking care of those details, documentation, etc., and they are reporting and all these documents, information, etc. But those who are not subject to audit under Section 35, certainly there are problems. So they must also go through some consultants or tax consultants, etc., so that those documents must be verified. Now there is procedure which is mentioned in Rule 101 for audit. So only one rule for audit by the department, Rule 101, and two sections only, Section 65 and Section 66. Mind that there is no threshold limit for conducting audit by the department. No threshold limit at all. So audit can be conducted of any person. Now we must understand the meaning of audit under GST. So Section 2, Clause 13 expressly define the audit. Audit means examination of records, returns, and other documents. Those documents which are maintained or furnished by registered person under this act. So we are furnishing the statement, that is GSTR1. We are furnishing our 3B returns. And mind that here the audit definition of audit includes not only the examination of records maintained for GST, but audit also of records of any other law. So auditor may ask you to provide tax audit report, auditor may ask you to provide a statutory audit report, auditor may ask you to provide some other report. So under any law for the time being enforced, that is important. So auditor may ask you any documents, records, returns, which is required under the GST Act or rules or under any other law for the time in force. So they can ask for, so that they can scrutinize whether their the return file or a statement file in GST is matching with those records, returns, etc. under income tax or any other law. So this is very important. Now the objective is to examination of records, return, and other documents. The objective is to verify the correctness of turnover. Turnover declared means turnover declared in the return, obviously 3B1 or GSTR code, etc., etc. Then the tax paid, to verify whether the tax paid is correct or not. Then the refund claimed can also be examined by the auditor. So if you are claiming refund which is not a genuine or correct refund, then also in the audit there will be any problem. Then another point is, which is the most controversial in any audit, is the input tax credit availed. So if we are availing input tax credit, we must ensure all the provisions of Section 16, 17, 18, and 19, 20, 21, and rules starting from 36 to 43, etc. All these rules provisions must be complied with, because the most consensus issue in any audit remains the valuation, the reporting of turnover, the tax paid, that is the exemptions. The most controversial point is the exemption. The rate of tax may be disputed by the auditor. The exemption notification, if we are availing any exemption, then exemption notification may be challenged by the auditors. The forward reverse charge provisions compliance, they generally check. Then input tax credit availed and utilized, they generally check. So these are the broader, and they also check the turnover, etc. from financial statements or any other report submitted to someone. That is very important. So we must ensure that the records, that is the returns filed in GST, must be in the same line as records, details, etc. prepared under any other law. There should not, if there is any difference, then there must be reconciliation. Reconciliation must be prepared every month before filing of return. Now we have just gone through the meaning of audit under Section 2, Clause 13, which is mainly the verification of correctness of turnover, tax declared, paid, refund claimed, and the input tax credit availed. And the last one is to assess the compliance of provisions of Act and rules of maintenance. That is very important. Now, Rule 101, which is the single rule for audit, has also details of all these, because in section there is a requirement of checking of tax paid So whether correct amount of tax paid or not, for that the auditor may check the exemptions. So due to exemption, there may be deduction in tax. So if the exemption is not valid, certainly there is a point for auditor. If you are claiming some deductions for from the value of supply, the deduction auditor can check. So certainly there will be effect on output tax. Then the auditor will also check the rate of tax applied on a particular supply of goods or services, that we also ensure that the rate we are applying must be correct rate. I think particularly in the case of reverse charge, we are not correctly paying tax, and there may be problem if the auditor raised any objection pertaining to short payment of tax under reverse charge. In case of forward charge also, there are several problems in the rate. So we must ensure that we are paying tax at correct rate. That must be. So for output tax, that is the tax liability tax paid, we must ensure number one, the correct exemptions, then only we should claim. Then the deductions we are claiming from the value of supply also must be correct. Then the rate of tax applied also must be correct, and for the notifications, all these things must be correct. Then important point is the input tax credit availed. Yes, so input tax credit is always concessions, and the onus is upon us because of section 155. So in such situations, we must have all the records to claim input tax credit, and the conditions of section 16, 17, etc. must be complied with. Then the refund claim I have just discussed. So getting refund is not the only task. The refund claim must be correct also. Otherwise, we may be in problem. And other relevant issues, etc. Now I am proceeding further. So these are the processes under GST. We are preparing documents and records. So on the basis of document and records, we are preparing books of accounts. And on the basis of books of accounts, we are preparing return and statements. And on the basis of return and statements, the auditor will issue the notice for conduct of audit. The notice form is ADT01. Then they will conduct audit, and after conduct of audit, they will certainly find some discrepancy. If there is any discrepancy, then they will intimate us for suitable reply, and after that we can reply, and we should reply. That is very important. If there is any objection, any discrepancy find out by the GST auditor, then the reply must be by the expert of the subject, so that every point, everything must be taken into account while drafting the reply. This is the most important task for auditing, the reply to the auditor, because that will be the base not only for the department, because department has raised objection, but if department has raised objection, we are here to reply suitably. If we are not replying suitably, then certainly we will be in problem. So while drafting the reply, this is the most important task, and it must be drafted by the expert of GST, not by a simple practitioner or by the auditee itself. This is very important. Now, so after furnishing of reply by the taxpayer, there will be finalization of audit note by the audit team of the department. As we know, in GST there is audit team, and in earlier regime also in excise, etc., there was audit team, anti-evasion, that is preventive cell, and adjudication cell, etc., etc. So similar is the mechanism in GST also. So finalization of audit note, after considering, they will finalize audit note only after considering, and they will take into record your reply also. So while drafting the audit note, they will record your reply. So your reply must be thoroughly drafted. Then only we can benefit it. Otherwise, without representation or proper representation, no benefit. Then finally, after considering the reply, they will prepare audit note, final conclusion of audit. So audit note and that audit mode in ADT 02, which will be served to you. So what is the objective of audit? Now, the important points. The objective of audit is to ensure the correctness of turnover, ensure the correctness of tax paid, exemption, deduction claim, rate of tax, to verify the correctness of refund claim, yes, to verify the correctness of input tax credit, to verify the compliance, etc. And mind that in every case there will be a chance of any demand, the demand of late fee, demand of penalty, demand of interest, the demand of short payment of tax, demand of wrong refund, demand of wrong availment of input tax credit. So always the pinpoint from the auditor side shall be to create those issues which converted into demand. So they always ask you only those records, information, etc., which creates demand. So suppose auditor is asking for invoice and you are dealing in only single product, and so they will ask you the invoice not for the whole year. They will ask you the invoice on 4, 5 days, 6 days. At the time there was change in the tax rate, so they will ask to those invoice only when there was, so that they can check your the output tax liability, whether particularly where tax rate has been increased. If the tax rate on a particular product has been increased, then we must be alert, and according the invoice should be issued. Similarly, they will ask you the invoice or bill of supply of a particular period when exemption were withdrawn. When the exemption were withdrawn, you may not be aware of, and you are still issuing bill of supply. As we know that in the case of exempted supply, we issue the bill of supply. So we may still issuing the bill of supply, whereas the exemption has been withdrawn by, there may be change or minor change in the notification. As you know that in GST there are so many changes and frequent changes and minor changes. Even the experts are not in a position to track those changes, particularly in the case of exemptions and change in tax rate, etc. So we must be aware of that. There may be situations where we may not be aware of that. So in those cases, there may be problems of short tax collection, or there may be problem of not issuing the tax invoice, or there may be problem of issuing invoice at lesser tax rates. So, mind that they will ask you only those records or information where there is some changes, and the taxpayer may not be aware of that, and as a consequence thereof, there may be mistake. So they will ask you if there are voluminous number of invoices, there are so many invoices, thousands and lakhs of invoices, then certainly they will not ask you all the invoices. They will ask you only those which are on a particular period where there was change either in the exemption withdrawal, or there is change in tax rate, or there is any change. So similarly, in the case of input tax credit also, they have some inputs from the market that so in so and so field and so product, people are taking wrongly taking availing credit. For example, many of people are purchasing mobiles which are not actually used by the businessman, but some of the relatives are using. So in a proprietorship concern where turnover is hardly 30-40 lakh, no need of 30, 40, 50, 60 mobiles. So on the basis of market information or market input, they will track the input tax credit, because the input tax credit must be linked with the your output tax. They may check the ratio. There are details guidelines, although at today I am not sharing you the guidelines of audit, but there is there is guidelines of audit prepared by for conduction of audit by the departments. I have inbuilt those guidelines known as audit manual in chapter 10 of my book. DNA of GST audit. So chapter 10 is very important of this. If you have this book, chapter 10, you can go through, or you can download from internet also, GST audit manual 2019, where the details provisions are made how the department will conduct the audit. So we must be aware of that. Similarly, there may be situations where financial statements, particularly in the cases where the auditor, in the case of audit conducted by that auditor appointed by the taxpayer himself, and there is still unreconciled figure reported by the auditor, or there may be situations where audit not conducted at all and department is directly coming your office for audit. Then in such cases, if the turnover of GST return is not reconciling with the turnover reported in the income tax return or any other return, or something reported to bank for any credit limit, etc., or something reported to some other departments, then certainly there will be a problem for the auditing. So we must keep in mind all the provisions. Then the compliance part also, because as we have discussed yesterday, or so that if we are not paying tax within 30 days, then the department will raise a penalty of 10,000 or 10%, which is the huge amount. So we must be aware of those. Then I am just going to again. So as we have discussed, what department will do? Department will check your records. As we are aware of that, they will check your records. They will check your returns. They will check your statements. They will check your books of account. They will check your documents. So we must aware of these terms. Anyhow, we must be aware of those documents. What are documents? Document is defined in section 2 clause 41. Documents includes written documents, so it may be a handwritten documents or maybe a printed record also, or documents is also electronic record as defined in Information Technology Act is also a document. So your data, so many data you are preparing, so all those data are also forming part because they are in accordance with IT Act. So you may, for details, you may refer to the IT Act. Then the records, although directly the records is not defined, but section 35 and rule 57, 58 has some linking for explaining those records. Then the books of accounts, the details section, that is section 35 and rule 56 has a provision, 56, 57 and 58 has a provisions for the books of accounts, maintenance of books of accounts. And lastly, the returns we are filing, that is GSTR1, 3B, TDS statements, etc., which are prescribed in section 39. Whereas statements, that is GSTR1, which is statement of outward supply, that is mentioned in section 37 and rule 59 to 81. So these are broader provisions. I think there is a requirement to understand section 31 to 58. We must note that these sections are not widely discussed, but these sections are very important along with rule 56 to 81. These rules are also important because these rules and the section we have referred, that is the section 31 to section 58, 59 over what is assessment. So section 31 to section 58. This range of section is very important and not widely discussed or widely read out by the tax practitioners. So we must read out those provisions, mind that. And rule 56 to rule 81 is also very important because these are the base for accounting, base for documentation, base for record keeping, base for books of accounts, and base for returns and statements. Still, we heard that some people are preparing the details in Excel, and on that basis they are filing return. It will be difficult for them to reconcile those data details from the books of accounts because if they are not preparing books of accounts or they are not preparing in a sequence those record documents and they are not reconciling, that there may be problem that some of the invoice may be left out or some of the credits you have missed out. So we must be aware that these are the sequence. So we must be refer the document, then the record, then the books of account, then the returns and statements. So in this sequence, you have to prepare, and in this sequence, you have to reconcile those data and information before filing your return or a statement. Now, I am just referring to the document. What are the documents to be issued in GST? So, invoice, tax, popularly known as tax invoice, which is mentioned in section 31. So, tax invoice. There are some documents which are deemed to be invoice. So, there is deeming fiction, and in GST there are so many deeming fictions. Sometimes some transaction or activity treated as supply, some documents which is not in fact invoice, treated as invoice. So deeming fiction, there is no supply at all, then the treated as some activity as supply. So something not part of valuation, treated as part of valuation. So there are so many deeming fiction in GST. We must similar provisions are in income tax law also. So there are so many deeming fiction. We must be aware of those deeming fictions. So the tax invoice, deemed invoice, and finally the revised invoice, we must be aware of those documents. Then next important point is the invoice cum bill of supply. So we must be aware of that if we are issuing documents where supply involves exempted and taxable both, mind that if we are supplying only to an unregistered person, then certainly we can issue invoice cum bill of supply. But in the case of these features is not available in the case of supply to B2B supply. So in the case of B2B supply, there will be either invoice or tax invoice or bill of supply. There will not be in any case the invoice cum bill of supply. So invoice cum bill of supply will be only for supply to unregistered person, that is B2C. Number two. Then another document, that is bill of supply, which is in the case of exempted supply. As we are aware of that, exempted supply has three prongs. One is area is where supply is exempted as per notification under section 11 or 6 of the IGST, or there is nil rate of tax or supply which is not covered in GST. So for petroleum products or for liquor for human consumption, bill of supply documents shall be, or any other documents issued under that law shall be treated as a bill of supply. So there is a deviation also. Then the receipt vouchers. So as soon as we receive any advance, and as we know that there is provision for discharge of tax liability under section 13 under time of supply, that in the case of receiving of any advance against the services to be provided, you have to issue receipt vouchers, and if you are not rendering those services to them, then we have to refund the amount. Then certainly we have to issue the refund voucher. Then payment vouchers in the case of reverse charge cases where we are making payment, and from the payment there is leakage of time of supply in the case of reverse charge. So payment vouchers must be prepared. And lastly, the debit note and credit note for any adjustment. So we must be aware of the section 31. I have just gone through the basic. Yes. So these are the document I have already explained. So related provisions of sections and rules are mentioned here and there. Nothing new. I have just explained you. Now, yes, important particulars of invoice. So must be aware of. There are this point is very important because there are two types of mistakes. One, we are receiving invoice and we are availing input tax credit, and on the other side, if we are supplying goods or services, then we are issuing tax invoice. And on the basis of our tax invoice, the other guy, which is the recipient of supply, is taking or availing input tax credit. So the invoice must have all the particulars as mentioned in section 31. Section 31, read with rule 46, has the details, the information to be mentioned on the invoice. So, but some of the information is very important, as we have discussed that a rule 36 sub rule 2, section 36, rule 36 sub rule 2, it is clearly mentioned that if some of the information which is vital for an invoice is missing, then we may not be in a position to avail input tax credit. So we cannot read only section 16, in section 16, if we have tax invoice, we can avail input tax credit, but rule restrict you that if certain particulars are not on the invoice, say if there is supply, interested supply, and in the case of interested supply, place of supply is not mentioned on the invoice, he may not be able to avail input tax credit because it is against Rule 36 sub Rule 2. So you must be aware of those important information. So those important information we must mention on the invoice so that our customers, our recipient of supply must avail the input tax credit. And if we are availing input tax credit, then it is a challenge for us. We must ensure that all the details must be mentioned on the invoice, then we should avail input tax credit. There are the different colors slide. In this slide, there are this one, this one, this one, this one. These 5 are very important because if any of these 5 is missing, then under Rule 36, we cannot avail any input tax credit, although something reflected in 2A. So, on the basis of only 2A, we should not rely, because the figures of 2A may got changed. Some of the supplier had by mistake reported on your GST. Probably those transactions may not pertaining to you. So on the basis of 2A only, we should not avail any input tax credit. We must scrutinize the details in 2A. Similar to the Form 26A, some persons are reporting their income merely on the basis of Form 26A. There may be mistake in reporting in Form 26AS, and the deductor may correct those details in Form 26S anytime. So after, if you have reported and the income and you have claimed the TDS, and after that Form 26 is revised and updated, and those income as well as TDS removed from 26A, then it will be in a problem. So similar may be situation in GSTR 2A. So we must ensure that the GSTR 2A must be scrutinized, and only in respect of eligible credit we must avail the input tax credit. And mind that you are eligible only for 110% of the reported amount of eligible input tax credit in GSTR 2A. So there are 2 prongs for rejection of your input tax credit. One is non-reporting in GSTR 2A, and other is in documents, which is the invoice, besides the other condition, that is receiving of goods or services, etc. So you must ensure the hard documents as well as reporting in Form 2A. So both must be kept and compared, and in my view, you must download and keep those 2A every time, so that if any problem is occurring or the supplier is changing the reporting in 2A, then, and if you have some documents of tax invoice, etc., then you must. There may be problems also. There may be dispute between the buyer and seller pertaining to the payment amount, etc. So they may do so. Sometimes we have seen in income tax, they sometimes they delete the reporting in 26As, causing problem to other parties. So there may be situation in GST also. So we must download those 2A and keep in our copy, so that there must be a base besides the invoice, etc. So that it will say. Now the important point is that there is prohibition on unauthorized collection of tax. Only a person who is a registered person can collect tax. So if a person is not registered, certainly he will not collect tax. Number 2, and registered person shall collect tax in accordance with provisions of GST law only. So the tax rate as per notification is 5%. So certainly the supplier will collect only 5%, not 12% or any other tax rate. Then it is also mandatory to mention the amount of tax on the invoice. This is also important. So while issuing invoice, we must ensure, although there may be contract for inclusive type of including taxes, etc. But while issuing invoice, we must have to mention the amount of tax. As I have explained that Rule 35, 36, 35 details where there is a grossing up provision. So backward you can calculate the amount of tax, even if the gross amount you have received, inclusive of taxes, and you have to mention the tax on invoice, so that the other party may be able to claim the input tax credit. Because on the tax invoice, if input tax amount is not mentioned, how he can avail the input tax credit? So on the invoice, the amount of tax must be mentioned. Not only that, the nature of tax, that is CGST, HGST, IGST, place of supply, etc. All those provisions must be complied with. So now one important point is the credit note and debit note. The departmental auditor may ask you the credit note and debit note, so that, and the credit note, debit note may be issued after the end of the financial year also, although pertaining to the previous, and you are reporting this credit note, debit note in the year or in the tax period in which you have issued the credit note or debit note. So there may be situations where credit note or debit note were issued in the next financial year, whereas the transaction is pertaining to previous financial year. And you mind that those credit note, debit note you must report in the GST return. That is very important. So I have just discussed, and the details provision in section 34 for issuance of credit note or a debit note. There is time limit also. There is September of the next financial year. When now the issue is when you can issue credit note under GST. You can issue credit note only in 4 situations. Number 1, where the taxable value you have to reduce for any reason. The tax charge you have to reduce, then you also issue credit note. The supplier, the recipient has returned the goods to the supplier, then also credit note can be issued. Or where goods or services supplied are found to be deficient. So on the quality front also credit note can be issued. That is very important. So if the service is deficient, credit note can also be issued. Accordingly, adjustment could be made in the value of supply and lesser tax amount. But that point is important, that the other party, the recipient supply, also make adjustment in the input tax credit. Unless he make adjustment in input tax credit, you are not entitled for any reduction in output tax liability. That is very important. Yes. Reporting requirement of credit note, I am skipping that because all you are aware of this. Then time limit. Then audit by the department. So there are 2 sections, section 65 and section 66. The rule is rule 101 and 102. These are the rules. So I am just making comparison for all of you so that easily we can understand the comparison of section 65 and 66. Then we will go to the details of the provision. So under 65 audit, GST audit conducted by the tax authority himself. So GST officer will visit you or conduct your audit without visiting. He may ask your records in their office also. So, but anyhow, the audit is conducted by the tax authorities himself, no third party. Whereas in section 66, if there is any assessments, etc., pending before the senior officer, that is assistant commissioner or any officer above the rank of assistant commissioner. So in such a case, he may direct for conducting the audit, and impaneled or chartered accountant or cost accountant may conduct audit. In such a case, the departments will pay the fee. So fee will be paid by the department, that is GST departments, and not to be borne by the taxpayer. So in such a case, the time limit for conducting the audit by the tax officers is 3 months. However, extension may be granted of 6 months. We will again read the details. Then in the case of audit to be conducted by cost accountant or chartered accountants nominated by the GST department, and audit to be conducted by the chartered accountant or cost accountant on the direction of GST officers. Then the time limit is 90 days, and further extension can be granted whether at the request of the chartered accountant, the auditor, or the auditing for the 90 days. Now, for intimation, approval not required, whereas for intimation, approval of commissioner required. Initiation, for initiation, approval not required because they are already framing guidelines for whom they have to conduct audit. Here, for under section 66, for initiation of any audit, the approval of commissioner required, and once the commissioner approved, then only audit will be conducted by a chartered accountant or cost accountant nominated by the GST department himself, and the cost will be borne by the GST or department only. There is no cost involved of the auditing. Audit by department itself, and here audit by chartered accountant or cost accountant as nominated by the commissioner. Now we will read in details the provisions. So I have hurriedly gone through so that we must be aware of, so that details you can understand. Now the audit by tax authority under section 65. So I am just who can conduct audit. This audit, who can conduct audit? Section 65, audit can be conducted by the commissioner or any other officer authorized by the commissioner. By general authorization or specific, so there is audit team in the GST department and they are conducting audit. So every commissioner has GST, so many GST team and they are conducting audit of. Then mind that they can conduct audit only of a registered person. So GST auditor cannot conduct audit of unregistered person. There is a provision of inspection or investigation or search, etc. But certainly audit can be conducted of registered person only. What will be the frequency as decided in the by the commissioners? So there is details, rules, and commissioner will decide the frequency of audit. So there is audit wing, I have just explained. Now the period. So the auditor may cover the audit for so many financial years, or can conduct audit of single financial year. He can conduct audit of a part of financial year, as we know that for the financial year 17-18 only three quarters were under subject to GST provisions. So because GST was applied from 1st of July 2017, so only 3 quarters under GST period. So part of the financial year, complete financial year, 1 financial year, 2 or more financial year, all these decided by the GST Commissionerate itself. We will obtain the notice, we will got notice in form ADT 01 where it will be mentioned the period for which audit will be conducted. So this is mentioned in section 65, subsection 1 and rule 101, sub-rule 1. Now, where audit can be conducted? Yes, audit can be conducted by the auditor either at your business premises, or audit can be conducted in their office. So they may ask you to produce their your documents in their office. So you have to visit the GST office and you have to produce the documents in the GST office, or alternatively they can visit your business premises where you are registered. So place of business of the registered person can be visited by the GST auditor. Now mind that one important point here I want to discuss, that section 285 has a very elaborative definition of place of business, and place of business definition is inclusive one. So it includes not only the account office, it includes the warehouse, it includes the godown, it includes any other place from where taxable person store the goods, it includes the place where you receive the goods, it includes the place where you supply the goods, from where you supply the goods. So many activity of businesses, they are in business, there are so many activities. There is supply, there is receiving of supply, there is a storage of goods, there is warehousing, there is go down, there are so many activity of a particular business. So all those activities where some part of activity of business are to be conducted is in the definition of place of business. Not only that, the place where sub accounts are maintained is also place of business. There are situations where in the registration certificates, the place of maintenance of goods accounts is not mentioned. Still, that is the place of business. That is very important. So we must amend our registration certificate. Now, the place where taxable person is engaged through agent. So if you are conducting some supply or something through your agent, so the place of business of agent is also in the definition of the place of business. So we must check our registration certificate in the context of definition of place of business as mentioned in section 2 clause 85. There may be several situations, and there may be problems of input tax credit also, or they may raise so many problems. So we must ensure that these places, warehouse, godown, books of account, maintenance of books of account, or where we receive supply or from where we make supply, all these must be mentioned in the place of business in our RC. That is very important. Otherwise, there may be penalty also. So there is section 122 where penalty can also be. Now, whether time limit provided for preparation work to the auditee? Yes. Now here in this law, in the GST, the provisions has details that at least 15 working days shall be provided to the auditee for the preparation work, and auditor will provide you minimum 15. So if there is any notice for audit in ADT 01 where the time limit is say 2-3 days, then it is against the provisions of law, and you can challenge that at least 15 working days. That is, mind that the 15 working days means excluding the days of holiday. So that is very important. So 15 working days shall be provided to the auditee for preparation work, so that you can prepare your information. You can collect those informations. If the records are in godown or any other places, you can brought those records and made available to the auditor. So that is very important. And mind that this 15 working days is very important, because we can check before providing those information documents. If those documents or information are not gone through by any auditor or any consultants, or those records were not scrutinized by any expert, then we should utilize, before providing those information to the auditor, we must scrutinize, or we should engage any consultants or tax experts for scrutinizing all the data, records, information before providing those information to the auditee. Mind that it will save the huge amount of the auditee. It will save huge amount of the auditee. The consultancy fee you are paying, or the payment you are making to any advisor, that will save huge amount, because department, if conducting audit, then there is pressure on the officers of department also. So they will go to minute, and they will go to the area where there is chances of mistake, or there is unreconciled figures, or there are so many problems. So we must scrutinize the documents through our own consultant, so that all these mistakes could be. And if there is any mistake, we should pay tax voluntarily before any detection by the auditor. Then certainly this will be a case of section 73. Otherwise, the case of 74, that is fraud, etc. In such cases, we may liable to penalty of equal to the amount of tax beside the interest. So this is also important. So 15 working days we will provide it to the auditee, and a notice will be ADT 01, so that you have that. Now, the next point is time period for completion of audit. That there is time period for completion, as discussed. This is the 3 months period from the date of commencement of audit. So within 3 months from the date of commencement of audit, the auditor has to complete. So mind that the commencement of audit is also has a definition, and this definition is that the date on which records and other documents called for by the tax authority are made available. So to date on which we have already provided those documents and information asked for by the auditor, from that date, this date of commencement audit will be started. That is very important. Or actual date of institution of audit at the place of whichever. Now the obligation, there are certain obligation of the auditee. So auditee have to afford him the facility necessary to verify the books of account or other documents. So there may be situations where GST auditors are coming to your business premises or place of business, and you are not providing them the necessary facility for verification of books of account or other documents. Either you are not providing the data, or you are not providing the facility like table, chairs, etc. for verification, or you are not providing. So there may be situations. So in such a case, the legislature has already made provision that it is the auditee who is under obligation to provide necessary facility for verification of some account. And not only that, you have to furnish such information for timely completion of audit. So we have to provide the facility so that they can conduct audit. And number two, we have to provide the information, whatever information the auditor asking, we have to provide so that timely the audit will be completed. So section 65, section 5 I have just covered. Then the intimation of finding of audit. Yes, certainly, as soon as they will complete audit, the intimation shall be, the findings or the discrepancy shall be intimated to the auditee, and auditee may submit details reply, as we have discussed earlier also, that on such stage, the auditee must engage any tax expert or consultant to make proper reply, because GST is not a simple law and it cannot be handled by the persons having no thorough knowledge of the entire GST provision. So we must engage the tax consultants or tax experts having thorough knowledge of GST, so that suitable reply can be made considering those case laws or latest notifications or so many clarifications, etc., which probably the GST auditor may not be aware of that. So although they have raised the objection, they have raised query, but they may not be aware of some of the advanced provisions, particularly the rulings of High Court, Supreme Court, or advanced ruling or any other. Although advanced ruling is not as direct benefit to all of us, but has a bearing also, because it has department view on particular facts, although that is applicable only for particular SSC who has obtained the advanced ruling. Then on the conclusion of audit, they will conclude audit considering our reply on audit objection, and finally they will issue Form ADT 02 mentioning the details of what are the objections are, the reasons for the audit objection. They will also explain the reasons, and not only that, they will also explain the obligations and the rights of the auditee in that itself. That is very important. But mind that ADT 02 explain has the details which has any tax implication or implication of any interest or penalty or late or fine, etc. Only those provisions shall be covered in section 65, this ADT 02. Then action after audit. So what the auditor should do? Where the audit conducted under subsection 1, that is section 65, result in deduction of any tax, short paid or erroneously refunded, or any wrongful availment or utilization of any input as paid, then what auditee should do? That is important point. So immediately, if at the stage of audit or at the stage of reply, you have not approached any tax consultant, so at this stage, it is a must to approach your tax consultant if the amount is huge in this case, because now the file of audit will be transferred for demand and recovery under section 73 or 74. So in such a case, only a tax consultant probably may handle those issues. We have already clarified all this. So this is the summary procedure related to audit. These are simply the rule 101 in simplified version. Now, finally, they will transfer the file for demand recovery to proper officer So in the case of other than fraud cases, the section 74 shall be applicable, whereas in the case of fraud, section 73 provision shall be applicable. There is details provision of demand and recovery under section 73 and 74. We can discuss if time permit on any other day. Now we are on a special audit which is mentioned in section 66. So if any proceeding is pending, this is very important. If any proceeding is pending before assistant commissioner or officer above assistant commissioner, say deputy commissioner or joint commissioner, etc. If any proceeding is pending and the officer has a view that the case is very complex and in the interest of revenue, it is better to seek a report of an independent auditor, a chartered accountant or cost accountant. Certainly they will engage some chartered accountant or cost accountant which is in panel with the department for conducting the audit, nominate them, and accordingly the chartered accountant will visit your business premises for conducting the audit, and chartered accountant wants the guidelines also from the department for conducting audit, the areas where the auditor have to focus. This is very specific audit pertaining to either the input tax credit or pertaining to some specific point directed by the officer. So this is not a general type of audit, it is a specific audit, but mind that this is also audit conducted by a chartered accountant or cost accountant only. So if some professionals have already conducted audit and in that audit there is patent mistake or there is some mistakes which could be avoided by conducting audit or not reported in GSTR 9C. So there may be difficulties for auditor also on that basis. So mind that GST audit is not to manage, GST audit is important to point out the mistakes, that is very important. So you could not manage anything beyond the law. So all of us are here to comply the provisions of law. So we must understand and accordingly we should comply. So something not a base for any action of the taxpayer, certainly that discrepancies or mistake must be reported in general audit, that is GSTR 9C. That is very important. So these are the provisions. Here also the auditee will get notice for conducting audit, and this period, 90 days period, shall be allowed to a chartered accountant or cost accountant for conducting audit. This can be increased at the request of auditor or can be increased at the request of auditee, both. And finally, opportunity shall be given to the auditee also. So, and all the expenses, that is remuneration of auditor, etc., shall be borne by the GST department itself. It should not be borne by the auditee. And the finding shall be in ADT 04. So findings shall be provided to, and accordingly, since the proceeding is pending, any assessments in the chapter of assessment, we have heard of so many assessments like 62, the base judgment, section 63, that is base judgment, special, that is section 64. So there are so many provisions in GST as we have discussed in detail. So if any proceeding is pending before, then only this section 64, 66 shall be applicable. If there is no proceeding pending, then certainly section 66 shall not be applicable. This is similar to section 142 2A of income tax audit, because under income tax it's similar provisions for audit by a chartered accountant. So protection here. I have just discussed you the special audit. All these details I have already discussed. So the case, if nature complex or the input tax credit availed is more than the normal limit. So mind that some taxpayers are not paying tax and they are continuing their registration. Most of the times their output tax are even less than the input tax credit, and they are carried forwarding those input tax credit balances. So I think there should not be any positions where you are having continuously a balance in your input tax credit ledger and regularly you are not paying any tax. Then certainly there can be problems. So anyhow, and this is not a simple one. So the assistant commissioner as a control, and that control by way of approval by the commissioner. So if the assistant commissioner or any officer above think that the special audit should be conducted, then certainly they should forward the file to the commissioner for approval, and only after approval of commissioner this audit could be conducted. The time period we have just discussed, that 90 days plus extension can be granted by 90 days further. So not a new issue. A special audit, even if audit already conducted under GST law, yes, the audit may have been conducted by the GST auditor under section 35. Some other auditors have conducted your audit. Some audit can be conducted under any other law. So this section has overriding effect to the remaining provisions. So the accounts can be audited even if this has been audited under GST law or audited under any other law for the time in force. Still, section 66 can be applicable and further audit can be conducted. So this is important. Expenditure, yes, department will bear the expenditure, so not a problem. So after audit, yes, certainly since there is a case of a proceeding is pending, so department will create a demand, and accordingly the demand recovery proceeding under 73-74 shall be applicable. Now the principle of natural justice shall be followed, because section 66 subsection 4 has a provision where before anything you must got opportunity to explain. So you may explain those provisions, not an issue. One I have already discussed. 8303 is for direction, and 8304, that is the audit finding, I have already discussed. Now the preparatory work, I have discussed so many things in between, so I don't think there is requirement and to discuss everything. So we must check our output tax liability, our classification of goods, our HSN code, rate of tax, exemption notifications, condition for availing input tax credit, validation of input tax credit, evaluation along with supporting documents, evaluation of our contract, working papers on the basis of which GST return has been filed, books of accounts complete, matching with our financial statements and GST returns, etc. If there is any problem, then there must be reconciliation, matching of financial data with books of accounts, and all these records, because for non-maintenance of records also there may be penalty. So we must be aware that the records required or the books of accounts required under section 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, the rule 56, 57, 58, 59, all these rules we must comply with. Accordingly, we must have record, and if we are not providing a record which is otherwise required to be maintained under the GST law, then a separate record for bus contracts, separate record for transporters, GTA operators, there are separate record for warehousing, and so many records are prescribed under GST for a specific type of businesses also. So we must be aware of that, and all those records must be maintained. The auditor may ask you, and for non-maintenance or not providing those records, there may be a penalty also. So auditor may recommend for a penalty for non-maintenance of records, so certainly there will be problem. So I think all these details I have covered, and the most importantly, my conclusion side is that the auditee must engage some expert or consultant for handling the audit. Otherwise, there may be difficulties, particularly where the amount involved or the turnover of the company is high, or there is any exemptions, or the input tax credit ratio is very high. So there may be situations, there may be problems also. So I think I have concluded my topic. Now this is the turn of question answer session. So I am just opening all of you for question answer. Yes, questions, please. Your questions, please. Question. Any member have any questions, please? Any member has any questions? Prem Prakash ji, any questions?
No question.
No questions. Prem Prakash ji, Rakesh Verma ji, any questions?
No, sir. No, sir.
No questions. Okay, so you have understood the provisions of section 65 and 66. You have anything you have to say?
नहीं सर, उसमें ऐसा कुछ कहने के लिए तो उसमें ऐसा नहीं है, क्योंकि ये सब वैसी चीजें हैं, लॉ से गवर्न करी हुई है, ये चीज होनी चाहिए। बाकी जो हमने इरेगुलरिटीज करी हैं,
हाँ,
वो चीज को वो चेक करेंगे।
करेंगे,
जैसा
पक्का
आपने
करेंगे,
बताया, जो
पक्का करेंगे।
क्या है कि आज की डेट में ज्यादातर जगह डॉक्यूमेंट्स कंप्लीट नहीं मिलेंगे, डॉक्यूमेंट्स इनकम्प्लीट मिलेंगे मैक्सिमम जगह।
डॉक्यूमेंट्स इनकम्प्लीट मिलेंगे। ऐसा है, ये मेरा रिकमेंडेशन बार बार है, जो भी टैक्स पेयर हैं, हम डॉक्यूमेंटेशन में बहुत कमजोर हैं। ये डॉक्यूमेंटेशन हमें बहुत तंग करेगा। ये डॉक्यूमेंटेशन सिर्फ जीएसटी में तंग नहीं करेगा, ये इनकम टैक्स में भी तंग करेगा। यदि उन्होंने बोला कि इनपुट टैक्स क्रेडिट का रिकॉर्ड ले आओ और ऑडिटर ने आपने रिकॉर्ड नहीं दिया उनको इनपुट टैक्स क्रेडिट करने के लिए, तो इनपुट टैक्स क्रेडिट तो डिनाई कर देंगे, इसमें कोई डाउट नहीं है। और वो इनपुट टैक्स क्रेडिट आपको तंग करेगा जो है। यदि ये रिपोर्ट इनकम टैक्स को हाथ लगे तो बोलेगा भैया इनका परचेजेस पूरा बोगस है, क्योंकि इनके पास इनपुट टैक्स क्रेडिट का रिकॉर्ड नहीं है, तो उनको तो और बहुत बड़ी फिगर बना देंगे इनकम टैक्स वाले। सो वी मस्ट बी अवेयर दैट एनी ऑडिट ऑब्जेक्शन और एनीथिंग wrong side in GST certainly have a vast implication on income tax as well. So we must keep in mind. Yes. जी प्लीज, और कुछ बात है?
सिंह सर
जी बताएं प्लीज।
और तो सब नहीं है, कोई भी ऐसी चीज
कुछ नहीं है तो और ये कई लोग हैं इनके पास, मुकेश गुप्ता जी, इनके पास कोई क्वेश्चंस है? किनके पास क्वेश्चंस है?
सर सिंह सर, हेलो सर, सतीश वाकड़े सर।
जी
सर, ये जो फिजिकली कोई स्टॉक वेरीफाई करेंगे क्या डिपार्टमेंट
है क्या? दोबारा बोलिए, कौन बोल रहे हैं? प्लीज नाम
सर?
बता दीजिए।
सर सतीश वाकड़े सर, सतीश वाकड़े
जी बताएं प्लीज। जी
सर, whether any procedure, whether any physically verification stock procedure sir in under GST law?
जस्ट मिनट, आपकी आवाज नहीं आ रही, एक सेकंड मैं अनम्यूट करता हूँ। सतीश जी बोल रहे हैं ना आप? सतीश जी बोल रहे हैं?
हाँ यस सर, सतीश जी बोल रहा हूँ सर।
मैं सबको पहले म्यूट करता हूँ, फिर आपको अनम्यूट करके बात करता हूँ, तो आवाज सही है। आई एम जस्ट म्यूटिंग ऑल ऑफ यू एंड देन आई एम अनम्यूटिंग। जी सतीश जी बताएं प्लीज।
हाँ सर, whether any specific provision for physical verification staff under GST law?
No, physical, yes, there is provision for inspection. They can visit your go down or warehouse for inspection. So there is provision for inspection under section 67. They can inspect. There are so many provisions in GST, so they can.
Sir, yeah. Hello, sir. So stock register is also very important for in this
yes,
audit, sir.
It is very important. You have to maintain if a person is dealing in goods. Not only for goods, those who are in works contract or those who are in provision of service also, a stock register is very important where a stock item is high. Under section 35, there is a specifics. Under subsection 1 itself of section 35, there is a requirement of maintenance of a stock. So we must maintain a stock records and not only for traders or manufacturers, the stock record is also required for the works contractor as well.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, thank you. Yes, any question, please? Any member has any question? Yes, please.
Yes, sir. मैं ये पूछना चाहता हूँ
नहीं, आपको ना एक बार नाम बताना पड़ेगा, फिर हमें अनम्यूट करके म्यूट करना पड़ेगा, वो नहीं तो आवाज नहीं।
ललित कुमार।
यस, रुकिए ललित कुमार जी, मैं अभी किया।
हेलो।
यस ललित कुमार जी बताएं प्लीज।
सर मैं ये जानना चाहता हूँ, जैसे पर मंथ हम GSTR 1 भेजते हैं, उसमें ITC क्लेम करते हैं।
क्या करते हैं? दोबारा बोलिए, क्या करते हैं?
हम मंथली GSTR 1 में से भेजते हैं, सेंड करते हैं, सबमिट करते हैं।
हाँ।
उसके बाद हमारा किसी वजह से ITC के लास्ट पे पता चलता है कि किसी ने दिया किसी ने नहीं दिया, ठीक है,
हाँ,
उसको 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 हम नेक्स्ट मंथ में या 2-3 मंथ में या 3-4 मंथ में आगे जाके हम उसको तो जितना भी हमारा इनपुट बनता है उसको 3-4 महीने की बाद हम उसको एडजस्ट कर लेते हैं। कि अगर किसी को कम मिला है तो हम उसको उस मंथ की ITR में हम उस मंथ की GSTR 1 में कम उसको फाइल कर देते हैं। अगर हमको ज्यादा मिला हो GSTR तो हम उस मंथ में ज्यादा करके अपना ईयरली जो है लास्ट मार्च की रिटर्न में हम उसको पूरा कर देते हैं।
So you are adjusting the input tax credit or you are adjusting the output tax?
इनपुट टैक्स।
Input, no problem. So regarding the input tax credit, there is no problem. You can avail input tax credit even in the next financial year up to the month of September, not an issue. But it's highly recommended that you must calculate the correct amount of input tax, because availing input tax credit, short availment of input tax credit is pressure on your working capital. And if you are availing wrong amount of input tax credit, then it will be a problem for you because you have to pay the interest as well. So all these provisions must be kept in mind. If you are availing a short amount of input tax credit, then certainly you are paying more tax. So therefore, more interest expenditure or more pressure on your working capital. If you are availing more amount of input tax credit, then also there is problem, because for wrong availment of input tax credit, you may liable for interest as well or maybe penalty also. Yeah.
बट हम इसको पूरा मिला के पूरे ईयर का इकट्ठा मार्च की जो रिटर्न भेजते हैं उसमें तो ओके ठीक रेक्टिफाई कर सकते हैं ना?
नहीं रेक्टिफाई नहीं, ये ऐसा लॉ में परमिसिबल नहीं है। लॉ में सिर्फ एक बात है कि यू कैन अवेल योर इनपुट टैक्स क्रेडिट अप टू इन एनी मंथ अप टू द सितंबर नेक्स्ट फाइनेंशियल ईयर। सो आप सिर्फ अगले फाइनेंशियल आप इनपुट टैक्स क्रेडिट यदि अवेल नहीं किया है, आपका छूट गया है, तो आप आगे में अवेल कर सकते हैं। इसमें कोई डाउट नहीं है, इसमें कोई डाउट नहीं, आप कर सकते हैं आगे अवेल, कभी भी इनपुट टैक्स क्रेडिट अवेल कर सकते हैं। लेकिन यदि आपने कोई महीने में गलत अवेल कर लिया तो प्रॉब्लम है।
तो इसका हमको रिकॉर्ड तो मेंटेन नहीं करना पड़ेगा। मान लो पहले हमारे पास 4 बिल है, 4 बिल का इनपुट 4 बिल हमने परचेज किया, उसमें से 3 बिल का हमने ITC ले लिया। नेक्स्ट मंथ में हमारे पास 6 बिल है और वो पिछले वाला एक जोड़ के 7 का ITC क्लेम कर लिया। तो हमको कोई रिकॉर्ड तो ऐसा मेंटेन नहीं करना पड़ेगा कि
आपको करना पड़ेगा। ऐसा है आप नहीं आपको करना पड़ेगा। क्यों करना पड़ेगा? क्योंकि जो इनपुट टैक्स क्रेडिट का लिंक 2A से भी आजकल हो गया है। ये इनपुट टैक्स क्रेडिट का लिंक 2A से भी है। तो आपको क्या है कि आपको सबसे पहले पकड़ना पड़ेगा, आपको हर महीने रिकंसाइल करना पड़ेगा कि आपके 2A में फिगर कितनी आ रही है। आपको ये देखना पड़ेगा कि आपके हिसाब से इनपुट टैक्स क्रेडिट कितना है, उसमें से इनपुट टैक्स क्रेडिट ब्लॉक क्रेडिट में कितना है और एलिजिबल क्रेडिट कितना है। उसमें से जो ब्लॉक क्रेडिट है वो आपको 3B में लिखना पड़ेगा कि इतना अमाउंट ब्लॉक क्रेडिट का है, नहीं तो आपकी 3B रिटर्न गलत हो जाएगी। और जो क्रेडिट कोई रिवर्स कर रहे हैं वो भी लिखना पड़ेगा। और जो क्रेडिट आपका एलिजिबल है उसमें देखना पड़ेगा कि 2A में कितना है। यदि 2A से आप ज्यादा ले लेंगे, 110% का वेरिएशन परमिसिबल है, उससे ज्यादा नहीं है, तो वो यदि क्रेडिट आपने ज्यादा ले लिया तो वो भी डिपार्टमेंट आपको डंडे मारेगा। तो आप इनपुट ऐसे ना समय नहीं है कि आप कभी भी कोई एडजस्टमेंट कर लेंगे। यदि सारे लॉ को आप ध्यान से पढ़ेंगे तो आपको 2A को भी ध्यान में रखना है, आपको रूल 36 को भी ध्यान में रखना है, आपके पास जो इनवॉइस है ये सब भी ध्यान में रखना है, आपको गुड्स या सर्विसेज मिल गई हो वो भी ध्यान में रखना है, आपको पेमेंट भी 180 डेज में करना है। तो आपको ने सारे चीज अकाउंट्स में भी इनपुट टैक्स क्रेडिट लेना है। आपने क्रेडिट कभी ले लिया, बुक्स में वो आया नहीं, या बुक्स में है आपने क्रेडिट नहीं लिया, मतलब इसको थोड़ा रेगुलराइज तो करना पड़ेगा। क्योंकि ये यदि मंथली जब आपको ऑडिट होगा या जो भी होगा तो मंथली आपसे डिटेल्स मांगेंगे और मंथली रिपोर्ट उनके पास भी होगी। यदि डिस्क्रिपेंसी आ रही होगी तो फिर आपको सबको रिकंसाइल करना पड़ेगा। ये अभी से ही आपको रिकंसिलेशन करना पड़ेगा। बेटर ये है कि आप हर महीने रिकंसाइल करके जो सही क्रेडिट है, जिसका डॉक्यूमेंट्स और सब डिटेल्स आपके पास है, वही क्रेडिट आप लीजिए। मेरा रिकमेंडेशन यही है।
सर जी जो ब्लॉक्ड वाली है ये क्या हम पूरे ईयरली मार्च में अगर ब्लॉक्ड क्रेडिट है इकट्ठा मार्च में दे दें तो वैसे तो मंथली होना चाहिए, फिर भी अगर नहीं किया तो मार्च में हम ब्लॉक्ड करके उसको
नहीं तो आपको पूरे साल का इंटरेस्ट देना पड़ेगा। यदि आपने ब्लॉक क्रेडिट की रिपोर्टिंग मार्च हर महीने में नहीं किया तो फिर आपकी तंगी रहेगी, क्योंकि ब्लॉक आपने ज्यादा क्रेडिट ले लिया तो फिर वो पकड़ लेंगे, फिर बोलेंगे हर महीने में जितना हो कैलकुलेट करो। क्योंकि ऐसा है ये ना, सब आपके तरफ अभी अभी प्रकाश जी ने सेशन शुरू करते ही बोला था कि सब कैलकुलेशन हमारे सिर पे थोप देंगे, वो सिर्फ बैठे रहेंगे, आप कोई गलत करोगे भी डंडे मारेंगे, तो वो सारा काम आपसे करवाएंगे। जो काम आपसे बाद में कराएंगे वो अभी कर लेने का है, आपके पास वर्किंग है और प्रॉपर्ली रिटर्न भरेंगे। क्योंकि प्रॉब्लम क्या है कि सबसे बड़ी बात ये है कि हमारे यहाँ नीचे का ऑफिसर तो फिर भी एक बार सुन लेगा, ऊपर में कोई फिगर वर्क पढ़ने वाला कोई नहीं है, ना कोई फिगर वर्क समझना चाहता है। वेरी फ्रैंक, यदि ये केस कोई कमिश्नर या सीनियर ट्राइब्यूनल या कहीं गया, फिगर वर्क कोई पढ़ना नहीं चाहता, वो डिपार्टमेंट का व्यू कंफर्म कर देगा। तो बेटर ये है कि नीचे के जो ऑफिसर जिनसे इंटरेक्शन होता है, आप हर महीने में एक्सेल की सीट या जो चीज में भी कैसे भी करके, मेरी तो समझ यही है, क्योंकि आपसे वो सवाल जरूर पूछेगा, यदि जो आपकी ये डिस्क्रिपेंसी है ना, उसको ये पता लग जाएगा कि बुक्स ऑफ अकाउंट्स आप सही नहीं बना रहे। एक बात और मैं बताता हूँ, यदि आपसे डेटा लेगा तो उसको ये पता चल जाएगा कि ये डेटा कब एंट्री मारी गई है। अभी आपने अकाउंट्स का शायद आपको जानकारी नहीं है कि अकाउंट्स में एंट्री जो एडिट हो रही है, मॉडिफाई हो रही है, डिलीट हो रही है, कुछ भी हो रही है, वो आपसे लॉग मेंटेन करना है। जब हम सेक्शन उसके बारे में 35 के बारे में बात करेंगे तो शायद आपको ज्यादा पता चल जाएगा। जस्ट मिनट, एक अर्जेंट कॉल। नमस्कार मैडम। हेलो हेलो, नमस्कार नमस्कार नमस्कार। नहीं, आराम नहीं करे, कोई वेबिनार में है, इस वजह से नहीं उठाया, कोई वेबिनार चल रहा है। नहीं, अभी खत्म तो नहीं हुआ है, अभी थोड़ी देर में खत्म होगा। हाँ हाँ, कर लेंगे। ओके, थैंक यू।
हेलो।
सो यस, सॉरी, ये इम्पोर्टेंट है, वो उनको खबर मिल जाएगा कि आपका अकाउंट सही नहीं है, आप एंट्री बैकडेट में मार रहे हैं, और सबका लॉग बुक ये सब चीज आपको मेंटेन करना है। जब आप सेक्शन 35 और उसके करस्पॉन्डिंग रूल 56, 57 ये सब पढ़ेंगे तो आपको क्लियर हो जाएगा कि कुछ गड़बड़ है सिस्टम में। हमें, जैसे हमने बताया है कि हमें रिकॉर्ड बनाना है, हमें डॉक्यूमेंटेशन करना है, हमें बुक्स ऑफ अकाउंट्स बनाना है, हमें फिर रिटर्न और स्टेटमेंट बनाना है, और फिर सब कुछ करना है। सीक्वेंस हमें मेंटेन कर लेनी चाहिए। yes.
एक तो जैसे हमारी मान लो टर्नओवर 1.5 करोड़ से नीचे की है तो ये ऑडिट वाला क्वेश्चन उठता है क्या?
उठता है, हाँ। ऐसा है, डिपार्टमेंट वाले तो इसमें तो थ्रेशोल्ड लिमिट है ही नहीं। इंटरेस्टिंग बात है, सरकार यही तो कर रही है। सरकार क्या कर रही है कि लोगों को ये नहीं समझ आ रहा है, लोग तो परेशान हो जाएंगे। अभी उनको समझ नहीं आ रहा, वो ये सोच रहे हैं कि हम मैन्युअल रिटर्न फाइल नहीं करें उसके पैसे बच जाएंगे, हम ऑडिट नहीं कराए सीए का भी बच जाएगा। वो ये नहीं समझ पा रहे हैं कि जिस समय ये डिपार्टमेंट वाले, क्योंकि उनके पास कोई काम नहीं है। देखिए, पहले रिटर्न कुछ मैनुअल था, कुछ इलेक्ट्रॉनिक था, कुछ काम था। आज के डेट में कोई काम नहीं है जीएसटी ऑफिसर के पास में, वो और वैट ऑफिसर सब जो जीएसटी में आ गए, कोई काम नहीं है उनके पास। और सारा कॉमन पोर्टल पे हम रिटर्न भेज रहे हैं, आउटवर्ड सप्लाई हमने चलाई है, इनवर्ड सब हमारे 2A में आ रहा है, 3 वीक रिटर्न हमने भरी है, सारी डिटेल्स तो हमने दिया है, बैलेंस शीट हमने कर दी है, ऑनलाइन में कर दी है, टैक्स ऑडिट कर दिया, इनकम टैक्स रिटर्न कर दिया, सब चीज तो कर दिया है। अब वो तो क्या, कितना ऐसा है, यदि इंटेलिजेंट कोई ऑफिसर होगा 10 मिनट में उठा करके वो इतनी क्वेरीज बना के टैक्स बना देगा कि कोई सोच भी नहीं सकता। 10 मिनट लगेगा हार्डली। क्यों 10 मिनट से ज्यादा नहीं लगेगा, उनके पास कोई काम नहीं है। और आपको पता है कि हमारे कंट्री में क्या होता है, जो है ऑफिसर का दिमाग किधर चलता है वो तो पता ही है।
तो सर, एक वैसे नॉर्मली बात है, एक दुकानदार है वो 1 करोड़ तक टोटल उसी 1.25 करोड़ या मैक्सिमम 1.5 करोड़ टर्नओवर पहुंचती है, 1 करोड़ भी नहीं पहुंचती, इसलिए 80 लाख ही होती है। तो वो सब ये चीज मेंटेन कहाँ से कर सकता है सर?
अब ऐसा है, ये लॉ तो लॉ है, लॉ में ये नहीं है। हाँ, लॉ में एक चीज है कि जो कंपोजिशन डीलर हैं, जो रेगुलर टैक्स पेयर नहीं है, कंपोजिशन में है, उनको टर्नओवर, क्योंकि उनको क्रेडिट नहीं लेना है तो आपसे परचेज नहीं पूछेगा, पर टर्नओवर की जस्टिफिकेशन वहां भी पूछेगा आपसे कि टर्नओवर आपकी ये है और इतनी ही क्यों है, ज्यादा क्यों नहीं है, कम क्यों नहीं है। हाँ, वो वहां पूछा जा सकता है, इससे ज्यादा नहीं। हाँ, इनपुट टैक्स क्रेडिट का आधा पोर्शन खत्म हो जाएगा, क्योंकि कंपोजिशन स्कीम में क्रेडिट परमिशिबल नहीं है, तो आधा क्वेश्चन आपका खत्म हो जाएगा, पर आधा क्वेश्चन आपका फिर भी रहेगा। ठीक है, रखना पड़ेगा, कोई चॉइस नहीं है, क्योंकि लॉ में कोई है नहीं और उनके पास कोई काम नहीं है। वो ऑडिट का नोटिस बहुत तसल्ली से भेज रहे हैं। मेरा ख्याल है बहुत जल्दी ही ये कोरोना खत्म होने के बाद बहुत सारे लोग नोटिस ऑडिट का मिल जाएगा उनको। कुछ वो सिस्टम से भेज रहे, कुछ ऑनलाइन में भेज रहे, कुछ कर रहे हैं, वो सारा मिल जाएगा। जो है वो कर रहे हैं।
ये जो फर्स्ट 2 ईयर बताते हैं कि हनीमून पीरियड मान के फर्स्ट 2 ईयर की कोई इंक्वायरी नहीं होगी, ये क्या सही
ये
है?
एक सब बोगस बात है। देखिए ऐसा है, जो लॉ में लिखा है वही काम करता है। लॉ में यदि एक्ट में, रूल्स में, नोटिफिकेशन सर्कुलर में कुछ लिखा है वही काम करेगा। बाकी बात तो हवा में रहती है। वो दिल खुश करने के लिए ऐसा होता है ना कि हम तुम्हारे लिए चांद तारे तोड़ के लिए आएंगे, हम तुम्हारे लिए जो है 5-5 बड़े बड़े कोठी बना देंगे, हम तुमको अमेरिका इंग्लैंड सब घुमा देंगे, सब कर देंगे, वो वाली बात है। तो हवा वाली बात है, इसमें कोई मेरिट नहीं है। कोई सेक्शंस में, नोटिफिकेशंस में, रूल रेगुलेशन में तो लिखा नहीं है। और वो कर रहे हैं। मैं आपको बताऊं, मैं प्रैक्टिकल बता रहा हूँ, उन्होंने काफी नोटिस भेज दिया है। इतना ही नहीं, वो जीएसटी के अलावा सर्विस टैक्स का नोटिस भी भेज रहे हैं तसल्ली से। बहुत सारे लोगों का सर्विस टैक्स का नोटिस आ गया है।
तो इसमें कितने पीरियड तक नोटिस भेज सकते हैं वो लोग?
ये एनुअल रिटर्न के ड्यू डेट से 5 साल।
ओके,
इसमें बहुत समय, तसल्ली से समय है उनके पास। हमने कल असेसमेंट का बात किया था ना, ये देखिए ऐसा है, हमने कल असेसमेंट का बात किया था। आप उसमें तो आपने सुना था उसमें कि ड्यू एनुअल रिटर्न की ड्यू डेट से 5 साल का पीरियड है उनको डिमांड ये सब बनाने के लिए। बहुत समय है, 70 बहुत समय है उनके पास, बहुत तगड़े तरीके से। लेकिन सर्विस टैक्स का आप ऑडिट का नोटिस भेज रहे हो, सर्विस टैक्स के ऑडिट का अभी भी नोटिस भेज रहे हो।
ये नोटिस खाली वैसे मैनुअल या हार्ड कॉपी भेज दें या साइट पे भी भेज दें? कैसे भेज दें? मेल करके कर रहे हैं कैसे?
ऐसा है, वो नोटिस ऑनलाइन में भी भेज सकते हैं। वो आपको ऐसा लॉ में, जो जीएसटी लॉ में प्रोविजंस है, और इनकम टैक्स में भी अब हो गया, अब इनकम टैक्स में भी पैरेलल प्रोविजंस है। वो नोटिस आपको, ये जो ऑनलाइन का नोटिस है वो 4 नंबर पे है। यदि इनकम टैक्स के लॉ में जाके पढ़ेंगे तो 4 नंबर पे है, पर वो ऑनलाइन में भी भेज रहे हैं। हार्ड कॉपी भी भेज सकते हैं, सॉफ्ट कॉपी भेज सकते हैं, वो मेल पे भी भेज सकते हैं। कोई भी ऑप्शन है उनके पास, बहुत सारे ऑप्शन है। जो ऑप्शन में मन करेगा वैसे प्रैक्टिकली डिपार्टमेंट्स जो है प्रिंट आउट करके नोटिस वहां से डाक से भेज रहे हैं।
ओके, थैंक यू सर।
ओके, थैंक यू। So if any member have any questions, please, I am unmuting all of you. Yes, any question please? पहले नाम बताना पड़ेगा।
ऋषि गुप्ता सर।
अच्छा ठीक है, एक सेकंड, जस्ट दो मिनट।
पर मैं कॉन्फिडेंट
एक जस्ट मिनट, आई एम म्यूटिंग ऑल ऑफ यू, देन ऋषि गुप्ता जी बताएं प्लीज। यस
सर, जैसे कि इन्होंने भी लास्ट क्वेश्चन पूछा था, तो मेरा उसमें एक क्वेश्चन था कि मेरे पास लगभग है 3,000 के करीब आसपास पार्टियां हैं मेरे पास।
3,000 पार्टी है? अच्छा
हाँ जी, तो
अच्छा,
उसमें मोस्टली है क्वार्टरली।
अच्छा ठीक
जो
है,
रिटर्न फाइल करते हैं।
ठीक है, समझ आ
तो
गया।
अब मुझे अगर आईटीसी में जब इनपुट टैक्स क्रेडिट लूंगा तो वो 1 मंथ कैसे लूंगा? क्योंकि जो मोस्टली पार्टी मेरी क्वार्टरली है, तो मेरा तो ऐसे तो बहुत लॉस होगा। तो इससे हम रिकमेंडेशन
नहीं, आपका बहुत आसान है। ऐसा है, जो आपकी पार्टी क्वार्टरली रिटर्न भरती है
जी,
और पीछे वाली पार्टी तो क्वार्टरली टैक्स चढ़ाती होगी या मंथली चढ़ाती होगी, तो आपके 2A में तो सारा फिगर आ रहा होगा।
नहीं सर, 2A सब 1 फाइल तो वो क्वार्टरली करते हैं ना।
नहीं, ऐसा है, दो फ्रीक्वेंसी जो आप बात कर रहे हैं कि आपकी पार्टी क्वार्टरली रिटर्न भरती है, जिससे आप सप्लाई लेते होंगे, वो या तो मंथली वाले होंगे या क्वार्टरली वाले होंगे।
जिससे मैं सप्लाई लेता हूँ क्वार्टरली वाले हैं।
सब पीछे वाले भी सब क्वार्टरली वाले हैं
मोस्टली तो मैं मतलब 60-70% क्वार्टरली है। बाकी मेरी 30-40% आसपास मंथली वाली सप्लायर है।
मान लिया, समझ आ गया। अब आपकी समस्या क्या है? इनपुट टैक्स क्रेडिट में समस्या है, क्या समस्या है?
हाँ जी, जो अभी 10% वाला जो केस आया है,
हाँ 10%, जो 2A में आ रहा है उसके 10% बढ़ा के 110%
यस। तो उसमें तो मेरा तो 3-3, 4-4 करोड़ का आउटपुट टैक्स निकलता है, आउटपुट। और जो अगर मैं 2A चेक करता हूँ तो 2A में तो बहुत कम आता है मेरा, अप्रोक्सीमेट 1 करोड़ 1.5 करोड़, क्योंकि बिकॉज की जो मोस्टली सप्लायर है वो क्वार्टरली रिटर्न फाइल कर रहे हैं।
अच्छा, तो उनकी रिटर्न लेट हो जाती है तो आपके 2A में नहीं आता है।
सर वो मंथली तो करेंगे नहीं।
हाँ कोई बात नहीं, जो वो रिटर्न लेट भरते हैं, इसका मतलब ये है वो ज्यादातर वेट करते हैं लास्ट डेट का, कि लास्ट डेट आए तो रिटर्न भरेंगे। ऐसा है, आपके पास जो प्रैक्टिकल सोल्यूशन एक तो ये है कि या तो आप अपनी रिटर्न को थोड़ा लेट कर सकते हैं, तो लेट फी लगेगी आपको और कुछ नहीं होगा।
नहीं, रिटर्न मेरी मंथली है। मेरी तो
आपकी रिटर्न मंथली है, तो ऐसा है फिर। अच्छा समझ आ गया, आपका रिटर्न मंथली है, पीछे वाली पार्टी की क्वार्टरली है, तो ये आपका मैच नहीं कर रहा। ऐसा है, आपके पास कोई चॉइस नहीं है, आपको 2A में रिफ्लेक्ट करता है, उसी हिसाब से आप क्रेडिट लीजिए। आपके पास ये मान के चलना पड़ेगा कि थोड़ी वर्किंग कैपिटल का ब्लॉकेज होगा, कुछ वैसा नहीं है।
सही होगा, लेकिन इस तरह की रिकमेंडेशन हम जैसे जीएसटी जो गवर्नमेंट है उसको हम भेज नहीं सकते कि आप एंड ऑफ द ईयर इस चीज को रिस्क एमडी जो भी है वो आप सेट ऑफ कर सकें?
नहीं, ऐसा है, अभी तो आपको समस्या नहीं है, अभी तो एक नोटिफिकेशन सरकार ने बना दिया है जो हमने किसी दिन डिस्कस किया था। अभी तो आपको प्रॉब्लम नहीं है, क्योंकि सरकार ने बोला है कि आपकी जो कमी बेसी है वो सितंबर के महीने में जाके सही कर लेना। अभी तो आपको प्रॉब्लम नहीं है फिलहाल,
अभी तो नहीं
फिलहाल ऐसा है, फिलहाल तो आपका जो सितंबर के महीने तक में तो समस्या नहीं है। आगे में शायद रिटर्न का फॉर्म जो सरकार वर्किंग कर रही है, जो फाइनल किया सरकार ने, तो उसमें उन सब का पीरियड भी बदल जाएगा और आपका भी पीरियड बदल जाएगा, तो शायद सिमेट्रिक हो जाएगा। गवर्नमेंट के नोटिस में ये बात है ऑलरेडी। तो वो रिटर्न सबकी, जो छोटे लोग हैं सबकी क्वार्टरली ही कर रहे हैं, मेरा ख्याल है सबकी रिटर्न लगभग क्वार्टरली हो जाएगी, तो शायद ये प्रॉब्लम खत्म हो जाएगा। उनकी डेट आगे पीछे होगी, ये प्रॉब्लम शायद रिजॉल्व हो जाएगी। और जो अभी चल रहा है उसमें गवर्नमेंट हैज ऑलरेडी एक्सटेंडेड द डेट फॉर एनी एडजस्टमेंट्स बेस्ड ऑन 2A, तो आपको कोई दिक्कत नहीं है। आप सितंबर के में अभी तो आप जो करते हो इनवॉइस के बेसिस पे लेते रहो, सितंबर के महीने में जाके एडजस्ट कर लेना।
एक क्वेश्चन और था सर मेरा।
जी बताएं प्लीज।
जैसे मैं जीएसटी ऑडिट, मेरा एक जीएसटी ऑडिट का एक नोटिस आया है। तो उसमें जीएसटी का नहीं, आईजीएसटी नोटिस का आया, जो एलयूटी पे रिफंड लेते हैं ना, उस चीज का।
ठीक है।
तो उसमें उसने बीआरसी मांगी है, और जो हम एलयूटी रिफंड भी मांगते हैं तो वो भी जो ऑफिसर है वो भी बीआरसी मांगता है, लेकिन बट बीआरसी इज नॉट मैंडेटरी फॉर द जीएसटी रिफंड।
ऐसा है कि नहीं है? देखिए, रिफंड के लिए क्या चीज मैंडेटरी है उससे मतलब नहीं है। जीएसटी में ऑडिट करने के लिए जितने भी, देखिए वो बहुत सारे लॉ का बात कर रहा है। अभी जैसे आपने पढ़ा है कि रिकॉर्ड मेंटेन अंडर जीएसटी, रिकॉर्ड मेंटेन अंडर एनी अदर लॉ, वो कोई इंफॉर्मेशन मांग सकते हैं। यदि वो मांग रहे हैं बीआरसी तो बैंक से लेके देना पड़ेगा।
बैंक से आजकल वैसे सर ऑनलाइन भी निकल आती हैं,
तो निकाल लीजिए बैंक से, आप ऑनलाइन में निकाल लीजिए, फिर उसमें भी कोई दिक्कत नहीं, आप दे दीजिए उनको। वो चेक करना चाहते होंगे दे दीजिए उनको, चेक करेंगे। क्योंकि ये रिफंड के भी ऑडिट होंगे, जिनके नहीं हुए उनका भी होगा, क्योंकि सरकार ऐसा समझती है कि रिफंड बहुत सारे बोगस इश्यू होता है।
हाँ सर बिल्कुल सर।
हाँ, सरकार के नोटिस में है ये, जो है उनको ऐसा लगता है कि बोगस रिफंड हो गए हैं, तो ये रिफंड चेक होगा। वैसे भी ऑडिट की मीनिंग में हमने जस्ट बताया है कि सेक्शन 65 में भी और रूल 101 में भी ऑडिट की मीनिंग में रिफंड का वेरिफिकेशन है। ये ऑडिटर को भी चेक करना है, जो अदरवाइज भी सी है उनको भी चेक करना है कि रिफंड एलिजिबल है कि नहीं है। वो कैलकुलेट करेंगे आपका सारा टैक्स पीरियड, टर्नओवर, ये वो बीआरसी मिलान करेंगे। उसमें ये भी है, अभी इन्होंने कर दिया है कि पैसा टाइम के अंदर नहीं लेके आया तो पीछे के रिफंड आपको टैक्स जमा करना पड़ेगा। यदि किसी के पैसे नहीं आए हैं तो प्रॉब्लम है।
ओके सर, थैंक यू सर।
ओके, थैंक यू सो मच। Yes, any other member has any queries? Anyone has any queries? So I think no one has any queries. Any member have any queries? Yes, any member has any queries? Any queries, please? So I believe there is no queries at all. I have just unmuted all of you and no one has any queries. So I believe there is no queries at all. So I am closing the session. Thank you very much for joining this session. Any queries?
Thank you sir.
Sir, hello sir.
Yes,
hello.
Please.
Sir, Satish Wakde.
I have not heard. Please.
सतीश वाकड़े बोल रहा हूँ सर।
सतीश जी बोल रहे हैं? ओके।
हाँ सर, हाँ सर।
ओके,
सर मुझे
ओके, जस्ट मिनट, आई एम म्यूटिंग अदर्स, देन आई एम अनम्यूटिंग टू फॉर यस प्लीज।
वो इसमें अड़चन में आ सकता है क्योंकि हाँ आईटीसी जो कैरी फॉरवर्ड करेगा फ्रिक्वेंटली, जो बंदा जो कैसेसी वो इसमें ऑडिट में अड़चन में आ सकता है सर, अगर ट्रू जो अकाउंट्स अगर प्रोवाइड नहीं करेगा तो। आईटीसी कैरी फॉरवर्ड सर,
आईटीसी
जो सर जो बंदा आईटीसी कैरी फॉरवर्ड करते रहेगा सर पूरी फाइनेंशियल ईयर टू ईयर, तो वो बंदा ये जीएसटी ऑडिट में अड़चन में आ सकता है सर।
जो आईटीसी नहीं समझ नहीं, आप
कैरी फॉरवर्ड करेंगे सर, उसके लाइबिलिटी सर उसका लाइबिलिटी नहीं आ रहा सर, उसका खाली ITC कैरी फॉरवर्ड आ रहा है सर हर साल।
ओके ओके, सो अ पर्सन
वो तो बंदा वो हाँ
क्यों उसका क्यों ITC आ रहा है हर साल? ITC क्यों आ रहा है, क्या प्रॉब्लम है?
सर क्या होता है सर, वो एट द एंड ऑफ फाइनेंशियल ईयर या क्वार्टर उसका परचेज ज्यादा रहता है सर।
परचेज ज्यादा तो स्टॉक बहुत है क्या उसके पास?
हाँ है, स्टॉक है सर।
अच्छा, स्टॉक बहुत एक्चुअली फिजिकली स्टॉक है
सर, फिजिकली भी है सर।
Yes, there may be chance that there may be problem if input tax credit is more than your output tax.
Right, sir.
Because if you are not paying any tax to the
Right,
government,
sir.
then the government feel that there is something going wrong, because a taxpayer who is registered and department has given registration only for collection of tax. So if a taxable person is not paying tax, then the department may have doubt that something going wrong. So
Yes, sir.
We must aware of that. If the stock is proper, then not really.
Right, sir. Thank you sir.
Okay, thank you so much.
Yeah.
So thank you to all of you for participating. Thank you to all of you for participating in the program and discussion on the very important topic of GST audit to be conducted by the department, and the audit to be conducted by cost accountant or chartered accountant on the direction of department. Thank you very much to all of you. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Sir, thank you.
Thank you to all of you. Thank you.
मम्मी को बोलो शिकंजी बना ले।